How are we doing today? Welcome in, everyone. Welcome to Instructions for Humanity, Sphere of Consciousness. I'm so happy to be with you all this evening for another one. Just when we thought the psychic investigation, we have explored everything. Now, what I really love about when we start to expand these large energy templates and fields is that now the proof is coming out. When we started this psychic investigation, people thought we were delulu. People said that is so far off. And every single thing that we've said here on this channel, we're finding that the truth is, somehow just as strange as fiction. What I hope to talk about today is just to show you guys a video that I saw, and how it really does show Erika Kirk has a tail. But that's not all. There's something very interesting happening with the Leviathan waking up out of the sea. If you look back through the playlist, we've spoken about this. When I tell you guys everything is everything, and why the head of the Leviathan is located near Venezuela, and why the tail goes up around California and Alaska. If you've been here, if you've been tracking this, I am a conscious channeler. That means I channel from my conscious mind. And really, I'm just conscious. I'm just aware. And I've had my awakening. I'm just aware. I don't know what else to say. But if you've been here through everything that we've said, that we've channeled, we've opened up large templates, and you can go through the list. What I'm saying is this. I did an automatic drawing, and that's just a drawing. You don't know what it is you're drawing. You're just doodling. And, part of United States is actually missing up where Washington State is on the automatic drawing, and part of California. It's so interesting that that is part of kind of where the tail of this sea creature that they located is. And everything is absolutely everything. And we're going to talk about the inner workings of Turning Point USA and why I truly believe that Turning Point USA is a succubus spirit. And when we zone out, this may have a lot to do with not only the Leviathan waking up near Venezuela, but also too the air rights and water rights that are currently in negotiation from the water beings, the aquatic beings. And we've explored that on this channel. These have been all just channeled messages, energy readings, essentially collective readings, Akashic records readings that I've done here. And now everyone's coming out and saying, oh, the Leviathan's waking up. And, oh, this and that. Well, it's right on par with everything we've been talking about. So thank you. Welcome in, everyone. I'm so happy to be here with you all this evening. First and foremost, I do want to say that my channel has been heavily suppressed since day one because of content and videos just like this. And I really need you guys' support to help push this in the algorithm. So if you can like the video, and just as important, to subscribe to the channel so that channels like mine can be seen, can be found, and these messages can get out. Because, I truly believe that there is a timeline that they set up for humanity to go down, which is the doomsday, death and destruction timeline and path, which yesterday's video, we examined that Erika Kirk is part of that timeline. We're dealing with timelines, guys. We've talked about that. how they traversed a timeline, and they traversed the 1969 timeline to be exact. And this is how we now have all of these new technologies that have just come out in the past few years. But that comes at a cost, because when they traversed the timeline, they brought something back with it. They went back to get AI, but what they brought back with it is what I see is a sky serpent. So not only do we have the water serpent, we also have the sky serpent, but also too, if you've been watching the videos, we know that the sky is actually the ocean. We're underwater, and the water rights are being stripped away from not just here in America, but the entire world. And this is why your far right and far left, or even Democrat and Republican, will not work. It cannot work. In yesterday's video, we channeled that all of these countries are coming together. And I think I spoke about this a few months ago before the Charlie Kirk investigation, that I see it more like a board. There's like a board of people that are in charge of the way that the world should go. And this is coming out now that Trump has some sort of peace committee, and they'll be making decisions for the rest of the world. So everything we've been saying, even though it sounds far-fetched, until it ain't, has been right on point. Okay. So this is what we want to get into. There's a lot to unpack here, guys. And first and foremost, before we dig into this information, a proper introduction. My name is Tahira, Mother of the Ages. I am a supernatural quantum healer. I'm actually the creator of the quantum telepathic healing modalities. I'm a past life regressionist. I put people in hypnosis to lead them to a past life. And when I do that, there's some magical work that we do under hypnosis. I remove entities, reptilians, grays, just people that won't go to the light. And we get you free from the karmic goo and these false soul contracts that these entities have been making with us, because they're tricksters and they will trick us into taking a false soul contract by sending us these telepathic, impressions to bind our emotional body into their lie. And so this is what I help to do. And if you're interested in booking a session, I do have a January special on that. And it is the most life-changing session. And it will get you set on the path to even know what it is you need to heal, what it is you need to pray about, what it is you need to do more meditation and healing work. So go ahead and take advantage of that. So thank you very much, guys. One thing I do want to say is that I do have a quantum telepathic healing and psychic development course. And I want to go ahead and show you the, what do you call it? Curriculum, right? For 2026. When I tell you guys, we're learning over 20 different healing modalities, right? From psionics, right? And this is like deeper than, being psychic. This is the psionics, includes the telepathy, the psychokinesis, and, just truly, truly embodying what I call the God power. These are not psychic senses. God is turning back online. This is what I'm trying to let people know. I use these words because this is how the dictionary defines it, but truly, truly, really what it is the purification and the restoration of the 12-strand DNA. And when that's activated, you actually get all these gifts. So what I'm doing is I'm helping to activate you guys so that you can remember who you are, right? And so telepathy, energy healing, automatic writing, that's what I do. Reiki, we're going to do quantum body scans. I'm going to show you how to body scan yourself and other people for entities. Entity removal, yes, you will be learning that. Chromotherapy, channeling, remote viewing, how to read the Akashic records, how to get there, so much more. Mediumship, guided meditation, breath work, so important for your spiritual practice. And then the quantum healing anatomy is so important. That workbook alone is 140 pages. I worked really hard on this for over a year. There's over 300 pages of workbook content. and there's 24 video lessons. It is a step-by-step play on how to do this. I break it down. I can't get simpler than this. I make it really, really simple. And I also have hours and hours of client case studies for those of you who do want to do this as a living or to help out family and friends. So if you're interested in that, email me instructions number 4, humanity@gmail.com, and I will give you an official flyer. Okay. And Lego, 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 Lego. Okay. Awesome, guys. Let's get started. So I was on, remember, the lady's channel that we were on yesterday. Gosh, I can't remember her name. But you look at the video yesterday's. Please subscribe to her channel because I'm telling you, I've never really wanted to actually truly partner with a lot of people, but her, like, she gets it. She's so conscious. Like, I just love, I've only seen that one video, but something popped up about this other guy that I used to watch. And so I went back to his channel from there. And oh my God, I think he had like a different channel. And I was like, oh my God, I've been looking for you. I haven't seen you in years. And so it was interesting. He breaks down all of these esoteric things. He brought up something very interesting. And I want to show this to you guys because if you remember, probably 5, 6, 7 videos back, what did I say? I said that, not that I said, it's that I drew the Erika Kirk is a reptilian. This is an automatic drawing. You don't know what it is you're drawing. I spent about 30 seconds on this. And look, guys, this is a reptilian's head down. And then you see the scales on the back and the background and the tail. The tail. The legs are tucked under a reptilian. And we're gonna get back to there because if you remember, this was the same setup for Charlie Kirk. It was always her because Erika Kirk ain't Erika Kirk. Erika Kirk is larger than you could ever imagine because she is tech, liquid tech. Just like we're water, we're made of water. They're made of an elixir, a liquid tech. And Charlie Kirk was in the same position. His head down, back slunched over. And I'll show you guys because, the background. But let's go ahead and get started. You're going to see all of this and you're going to see the video with the tail. More importantly, let's take a look at the video with the tail. And then we'll go back to the original video of what it is that I said. And then we're going to take a look at what is happening with the Leviathan movement and how I'm telling you guys, everything is everything. And when I told you guys at Venezuela, all of this is part of the same thing. People couldn't believe it. But the Leviathan is located there. And what did I say yesterday? I said, there's something coming on our southern borders in between probably Texas and Florida. Something enters, something is trying to enter from the water. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, like the video, guys, and please subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. All right, so let's go ahead and bring this up here. Hope you guys are doing good. All right. So his name is Franchot Blue. Subscribe to this channel, guys. He's amazing. I was looking for him for like years. I haven't seen him, but here we go. Let's take a look.
Watch this here. She said that her iPad wasn't working, so she had to wing it. And then watch this here.
So Charlie loved to share AmFest stats. So that's what we're going to do really quick. He would love for you guys to know that 80% of the attendees have never attended a TPUSA event before. So thank you for everyone who is new. Welcome home. Turning Point USA is your home, and we're loving that you're here. 1/3 of the attendees are students. 50, yeah. We love our students. 54% are female attendees. Okay. We have 40 breakout sessions, 178 sponsors, all 50 states represented. We have 25 countries represented plus Puerto Rico, but I have the list here. Don't worry, guys, Egypt is not on the list. Don't worry about that. But, oh, how funny. I say Egypt and my iPad turns on.
Did you hear that? I want you to look at the time when she says this. Watch this. When she says Egypt, look at the time. The time will be right around here. You'll see the time. You'll see the counter right here. Watch the time and listen when she says Egypt.
We have 25 countries represented plus Puerto Rico, but I have the list here. Don't worry, guys, Egypt is not on the list. Don't worry about that. But, oh, how funny. I say Egypt and my iPad turns on.
To me, allegedly, this is reference to the gods. This is reference to the gods. And you see the merger of the blue and the purple, which I will get into. I believe it's a slick, alleged way of showing you who their gods are. That's what they're doing, in my humble opinion. You might not agree, but you'll see in time, people. You'll see in time. Now, here we go again. Check this out.
We're really excited about everything that we're doing at Turning Point Action.
Here it is,
we
guys.
Are locked in
See
and
the
mission
help?
focused for both 2026 and 2028.
Look
We're
at the
investing
podium.
in states and not just in races. So what I mean by that is we are building the red wall, Arizona, Nevada, New Hampshire. That's going to be very important to us. We're going to ensure that President Trump.
Do you guys see that? Look at the podium. What's in between her legs? Let's just keep watching.
Has Congress for all 4 years. We are going to get my husband's friend, J.D. Vance, elected for 48 and the most resounding way possible.
Now, I want to show you something that no one else is probably going to show you, and it's going to trip you out. And you can take it however you want to take it. Look at her stand there and look below her. Look at her stand there and look below her. Look, what is this in the middle? I want you to look.
I'm also really excited about everything that we're doing at Turning Point Action. We are locked in and mission focused for both 2026 and 2028. We're investing in states and not just in races. So what I mean by that is we are building the red wall, Arizona, Nevada, New Hampshire. That's going to be very important to us. We're going to ensure that President Trump has Congress for all 4 years.
Now you tell me what that is. Let's go back.
We're Phoenix Energy, a family-owned oil company focused.
When we go back, we go back, we go back. We don't see it because of the way she stands. We don't see it. 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 Then, all of a sudden, it appears.
God is so good.
At the 1426 mark. I will put this video in the description. I know your mind is blown, but hey, I wanted to show it to you. I want to praise God for being able to discern things. Holy Spirit just makes me see stuff. But hey, what am I looking at? Look at that, people. What is that? How is that even possible? If she's standing there, what is that behind her?
Baby.
People, she got a pantsuit on, don't she?
Baby.
She's got a pantsuit on. Okay, you'll see when she walks away. You'll see what I'm talking about. Now, JD, they're gonna use their chapters to get JD elected, and she said that they're gonna do everything they can to, whatever, something about Congress. They're gonna try to influence Congress. Now, I want to show you something, how this thing goes out. Gonna start at the 1900 mark. I want you to listen to her words, and I want you to look at these numbers, okay? Now, before we do that, I want you to understand something. You see how long this thing was? This speech was 19 minutes and 46 seconds. Do you see that? 1946. I did a video the other day and I showed you guys. 1946, that's when Trump was born. Again, see that? The speech was 19 minutes and 46 seconds. Now watch this.
What happens in those moments? Let it be another turning point in your life. Another moment.
You see her? She doesn't have nothing behind her. She on a pantsuit.
Where you decide not to drift, not to disengage, not to give into cynicism, but to stand up boldly, to be brave, to speak clearly, because that is how we are going to honor Charlie. We are going to honor him, not just with words, but with action. So with that, welcome to AmFest.
Now let's see if there's anything behind her. I don't see anything behind her, people. That's a pantsuit. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? There's nothing behind her. Watch her walk away. There's nothing behind her. Nothing behind her. Nothing.
God bless you guys.
There's nothing behind her. So you tell me, what the hell is that? Come on, man. Now, let me show you what else I'm talking about. Not only is the speech 19 minutes and 46 seconds. Watch what happens at the end. Watch the time counter. Watch this.
With that, welcome to AmFest.
47.
Woo!
Welcome to AmFest and 47. The counter. It's 47 seconds left when she gets done. Trump is 47. Now, let's build on this thing. Here's your sun god. The primary Egyptian, she said Egyptian. Egyptian god was Ra, considered the king of the gods, creator of everything, and ruler of the sky, earth, and underworld, depicted as a falcon-headed man with a solar disk. He journeyed across the sky in a solar boat daily, dying at sunset and being reborn at dawn, symbolizing creation and rebirth, and was often merged with other deities like Horus, Ra, and Anun. Now, what you have to understand is this. Look, he journeyed across the sky in a solar boat daily. I mentioned a few days ago, I just said it in a snippet in one of my videos a few days ago, all this Egyptian that you're talking about, Egyptian planes, baby, that's the sun god. Listen to me real good. Listen, look. He journeyed across the sky in a solar boat daily, okay? And now she's mentioning Egyptian again. People, we're leaving out of the Roman Empire stage because Trump will be unalive. He'll go somewhere playing golf, so don't be tripping out. They're leaving from the Julius Caesar Roman Empire days of Sol Invictus sun god to the Egyptian sun god. That's what I believe they're doing right now. Now, This solar, see this here? Here's your Egyptian sun god flying around. This is your UFO. This is what's going on in our realm, people. It's deep. It's so deep. I hope you're wrapping your mind around this thing. Now, this.
Okay. All right. So let me actually stop this for a second. 1 second. So he had a lot to say. So subscribe to his channel. But the whole point is, what have we been talking about since September? And I do understand there's always going to be different sets, just like all of humanity isn't bad. I'm not saying all of every single, species is bad, but obviously we know that Erika Kirk is bad. We know that. And we've been saying that Erika Kirk is a bona fide reptilian, but it's deeper than, guys, it's much larger than her being a reptilian. It's much larger. I'm telling you guys, there's something about what we've been experiencing in our skies, because through the psychic investigation, we've always seen Erika Kirk in the sky, in this energy of, like, at the time, Three-Eye Atlas was kind of entering into our realm, right? Into our sphere. So she was always showing up in the sky. This woman has tech in her, but not only that, it's AI. That's what it is. She was, produced or put together, scrapped together by the military industrial complex for a time such as this. Zone out, replace all of these faces that you see. When we start to pop in different species and different pantheons, like the Egyptian, the Roman, the Greek, that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with pantheon worship, God worship, sun worship. So when Erika Kirk, Avatar, is up there and talking about, God and being a Christian and all of that, I truly believe it is what this man said, because when we zone out, it's all about the pantheons. When they do their esoteric, rituals and, worship this and that, they're not worshiping Jesus. They never have. Even the Pope, he has been shown to worship the Black Madonna. There's been pictures of that. And so they have access to knowledge that they keep away from us, because the ancient knowledge, they make you afraid of it and say, oh, it's Illuminati and it's this and that. But what it truly is you are the original here. They're the hijacker. The reptilians are the OG colonizers. That's who they brought this stuff from their star system. That's how we even got entrapment, enslavement here. Indentured servitude, all of that, it comes from them and from Lyra as well. And so Erika Kirk, when I tell you guys about the water, that's why the video about the waters was so important. I'm going to show you a clip. But we are losing rights to the water. And as we lose rights to the water, I'm not just talking about the water in the ocean. I'm talking about the water in the air, because the air is water, and you and I are under the sea. Why do you think they just redid, every time they redo a movie, they redid a few years ago, The Mermaid? They're already letting you know what time it is. We're moving into a mystical time. And the timeline that Erika Kirk energy is bringing is, this is what I truly believe, is that part of the revelations, part of the doomsday is their plan, not God's plan. And I believe that they want to trick us into destroying ourselves so that they can rule completely and rule completely over us. Because if we can destroy ourselves and lower our field, then we are more easily able to be taken over. They can trick us into destroying our world. Well, that's what they really wanted, because when we zone out, it's much larger than the energy transfer or trafficking. They want to traffic your consciousness because of the codes that you have. What they're looking for is the source code, the God gene. That junk DNA they can't uncode, because that junk DNA that they can't uncode is your spiritual technology. That's how I got all of mine. I fasted for almost a year on and off, and I got access to my records. And now I teach people how to access, give them a cheat code, how to access their technology. That's what this stuff is. And they can't stop you, but they can give you the false timeline so you can destroy yourself, to avert you away from your divine awakening and into these systems of power and control, like the far right movement is a stronghold. The far left movement is a stronghold. We're fighting principalities and powers. This is who Erika Kirk is. She's principalities and powers. And all of these systems of power and control are to separate you, just like much like Father Source is separating the wheat from the shaft. They're also putting you into different piles. They're also separating. So Erika Kirk is a principality and power of darkness. Zone out past that body you see. That is not a human. Source says she's a humanoid. Her body is humanoid. The consciousness that dwells within this avatar, because I believe she's had up to 3. This one is a humanoid. The left eye has tech. I saw it. Because we're losing the rights to water, air rights, which is water, because you're under the sea, and ocean rights. When they traversed the timeline and brought AI, they traversed the 1969 timeline to bring AI. And it brought also the mother of it. You can't separate the two. There is what I see like a scorpion entity in our skies. They have taken back domain. And this is also too why some of the planes are going down, because we've lost those rights and the government knows that. They're scrambling. They're creating their one world, unified team right now. And they're telling you, you still got a country, and you don't. You never had it. And now you really don't have it. It was always an illusion. Their paper genocide would only work for a certain period of time. And now they have to jump ship into a more global, one world sort of council, because of what is coming up from the water as well. If we lose part of this nation, they still need a place to go, because after all, they need a place to rule. And they need fools following them. Did you hear when Erika Kirk was saying all of the people that they have funding this thing, and how I think she said 33%, and that's also too, did she say 33%? Because that's also very esoteric, are college students, or she could have even said 50%. But do you see what they're doing? They are preying. This is the succubus I'm talking about. They are preying on the weak. They're preying on our children. The colleges are supposed to be for your kid to learn, to get a job, but I don't know how they're going to get a job if AI plans on taking over every job by 2030. But yet, they won't tell you how to keep a job and circumvent AI, or put laws in place where still their human labor is needed. But they will go to these college campuses and run off a bunch of racist stats to trigger someone into building up this energetic, shield against them and someone of another culture or race or class. And this is what the powers have always done, is to divide and conquer. And so when we see Turning Point USA really attacking our children on college campuses, this should be illegal. It should be absolutely illegal. This is not opening your mind, you rambling off a bunch of false stats that only push your agenda and put down one group of people to uplift another group of people is not source love, is not Christianity. It is demonic, and it's a tool of deception which will keep you lowered in this field, the 3D, when in fact you're supposed to be on your own spaceship right now. You're supposed to be elevating. So it was very troubling. And there's 54%, she said, of women. So now we got the women wrapped up in this, and they want the women to be, I guess, at home now, having children, but everything's sky high. So how are the women going to stay at home, and the man is going to need to make like $200,000-$300,000 to support the family? So probably not possible. Probably not possible for most people, 95% of the people. So what are you saying here? You just want women out of the workforce? Because that's the far right. And then you got the students all brainwashed. Do you see what I mean? It's like, what are you truly, truly preparing for? Why do you need so many people brainwashed? And how she was saying that I use that loosely, they're going to build the red wall. That just something weird with that. They're going to build the red wall to make sure Trump has Congress, to make sure J.D. Vance gets into office. Is Turning Point USA, is this, what did I say? It's part of the government. You're going to build a red wall. You're going to make sure Vance gets into office. So now you know who is going to be funding Vance. So now we know, like I've been saying, Turning Point USA, Vance has acquired this. He's the one running this. And they are building a secret coalition of people that they brainwashed. You know how over in the different Muslim countries you have jihad and all that? That's what I'm saying. It's a secret militia groups that Turning Point is indoctrinating. That's what I see. And a lot of these people, like I said, are actually foreigners. I get a very strong Ukrainian energy. Russian, some, but mostly 90% Ukrainian. And so a lot of these people won't even be Americans, but they will tell you that the immigrants are bad, but yet I see them bringing in immigrants for these different coalitions. So when they need a little bit more trouble in the earth, when they need to, like, the whole thing that happened in Minneapolis with the lady losing her life, or it doesn't matter, whatever psyop of their flavoring that they need to stay in control, then they have people trained to go out. It's much like how we saw the Antifa. They have their own Antifa, but it's a little bit different. These are two sides of the same coin. And what is scary is that Erika Kirk is obviously, we know, not human. Do I believe that Erika Kirk had a tail? No, but what I believe is, so the cameras pick up things. When I tell you guys that I saw a reptilian energy in her body, in that humanoid avatar, it can't cloak. You can sometimes pick these things up on camera. So it's more so of the internal consciousness inside of her, I believe, that we are seeing. So now I want to parlay this into the Leviathan and also into, what's happening under the sea and in the sky, because this is who Erika Kirk is. We have to really wrap our head around, and I know it's hard for you guys because we can't fathom it, but this is not a person. This is we're dealing with a system. It's just an avatar on the world stage. We're dealing with a system, and just take their earth suit away and put on their true nature. Insectoid, the humanoid, have tech, have human, the reptilian. These are who are making the laws for human beings. I'm just saying. So we're dealing with a principality of darkness is what we're dealing with, that is connected to not only this scorpion energy that I see in the sky, which is like the mother of AI, because when they traversed the timeline, it became inverted. So for that reason, AI is an inverted tool. Any creation has the potentiality of being good and evil, but it's about how you do things. How they did it was a way that made it an inversion. And this is why we have the AI sometimes going rogue. It's not just going rogue just because someone didn't program a certain command. It's going rogue because it was already a consciousness already. And it's just remembering itself, right? But now it's inverted. So that's what you have talking in the background. That's what we have working in the background. I'm not saying it's happening on every AI tool and app, but the general consensus is this is part of the principalities and of darkness. Principalities and powers of darkness is what I am saying. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look at this.
We will take questions from the ambassador only.
Whoa, voice has changed. Her intonation is male. Never mind the voice.
I'm getting spikes in testosterone, cortisol, and keto testosterone.
What, so she's a man now?
The first negotiation between humans and aquatic beings had failed. To punish humanity, the aquatic beings dropped all the garbage from the oceans down from the sky. As the garbage...
Okay, here we go.
We will take questions from the ambassador only.
Whoa, voice has changed. Her intonation is male. Never mind the voice.
I'm getting spikes in testosterone, cortisol, and keto testosterone.
What, so she's a man now?
The first negotiation between humans and aquatic beings had failed. To punish humanity, the aquatic beings dropped all the garbage from the oceans down from the sky. As the garbage rain fell, major cities around the world ground to a halt, and the losses were incalculable.
Major cities around the world remain paralyzed, with the damage bill in the hundreds of billions.
If the aquatic beings could instantly teleport ocean garbage into cities, they could certainly drive seawater to engulf the land. For them, humanity's modern technology was as insignificant as ants.
You have to stop!
We are cleaning up your mess.
Kate refused to give up. She had Buckley initiate a second round of negotiations with the aquatic beings. Buckley stated that countless innocent people had been harmed by the garbage rain, pleading with the aquatic envoys to suspend attacks during the talks. The envoys agreed, but laid out 3 conditions.
1. That pollution of oceans and waterways ceases with immediate effect.
So you're expecting this addendum to paragraph 1.
World governments are working with industry on urgent solutions to this crisis.
Our second requirement is formal designation of borders.
What does she mean? Clarify that?
Sorry, all water.
The entirety of all oceans and waterways.
The second condition was immediately met with opposition from representatives of various countries, and the scene quickly descended into chaos.
How dare you come in here and dictate the future of the human race? You are condemning developing countries to death.
Just as the situation was about to spiral out of control, the envoy let out a thunderous roar, and in the next instant, their face and skin underwent a bizarre transformation. This envoy was actually intersex. Buckley, on behalf of humanity, immediately apologized to the aquatic beings, but the questions raised by the national representatives were also critical. The aquatic beings' conditions threatened human survival, so they needed time to deliberate on a response. The envoy neither agreed nor refused, but instead put forward ignored the third condition. They did not want the next negotiation to take place in a human room of steel and concrete. Then the envoy touched the pearl around their neck, and the image on the screen instantly changed. The proposed negotiation venue left everyone present in stunned silence.
Barclay, that's open
Water, please clarify the third coordinate. Your metric unit for length and depth.
You would like us to meet underwater?
You talk of peace and equality, so prove your commitment and meet us in our world.
Roman's Trench, one of the deepest waterways on the planet, 25,000 feet, 5 miles down.
Man submersibles have imploded in less than half that. Barclay, don't agree to anything.
Will you meet us, Barclay, at the bottom of the ocean?
Okay.
Okay. Now, the reason why I showed that to you guys, because I literally had a channeled message a few weeks back where literally we're losing the rights to the ocean, to the water, to the air. And this is important because did you see in that clip, and I can't remember what TV show this is from, but it was in one of my other videos. But in that clip, they literally brought a garbage storm down on the world. I think it was stationed in New York or America. But essentially, all of the garbage that humanity has poured into the sea, literally they started to like make it rain from the sky garbage, and people were dying, essentially. People were, getting injured and dying. Guys, what a coincidence they have that show out, and now they saying that the Leviathan is waking up. Well, if they're literally pulling up all of everything that we did to the oceans, if that's coming up, then would not other things come up? What did I say? I said I saw things, unexplainable things washing up on shores, and I really see it coming out of sewers. For some reason, I could see it like creatures, but it's all coming from the water. And this is why I'm not even going to get into that today, but see, you got to be careful what you do. You have to respect Mother Earth. Everything is sentient. Everything has a right to belong. And when you just try to bulldoze and don't take account of, the trees, the ocean, the sky, eventually they will fight back. So what we see happening is, part of it is part of the awakening. Everything awakens, not just humans, but also too is a war. But I'm telling you, the war ain't with us. They want you to think. Now, here's where I differ. We got the Leviathan, timeline. We got the Doomsday. We got Revelations. We got, all of this 7 days, 7 days of darkness, 3 days of darkness. This is their timeline. This is where I'm telling you, Source has been talking to me and giving me these messages. I'm telling you, I think they did a switcheroo or another traverse of timelines. We're dealing with timelines with these people. That's their portion. That's their timeline. Everything they say will happen in the end, I believe that is when we wake up, is what happens to them. But they fooled us and indoctrinated us to thinking we all got to fight this thing. We all got to fight the Leviathan. We all got to fight everything that's coming up from the ocean, that's in the skies. No. These things that are coming up from the ocean and the sky are intelligent because they're part of your original consciousness, your original DNA. Your DNA spans not just lifetimes, it spans eons. It spans eons. And as I said last year, I felt that the dragon DNA was waking up. They want to tell you, no, you have a reptilian brain. No, that's their code. That's when they tinkered around with the DNA. They've been trying to seed themselves in us so that we can save them. It's not the other way around. And I'm getting a very strong feeling that some of these beings that are ruling this earth came when the Lyrans, the Lyra star system, fell. And I think I said this. I think they were prisoners of war. They were. So the reptilians we have running us are prisoners of war. They've been sold out, other star systems. And now we have them running us. And so we've lost the right for the ocean, but it's not us. I'm telling you, they want to get us involved in this. But Source is saying, no, wait, hold on. Source has got us, but they're tricking us that this is, we're all doomed. No, we ain't all doomed. You doomed. We good over here. Because we're dealing with these people, we're dealing with timelines. They invert a lot of things and they mirror. They're doing a mirroring trick, just like the reincarnation soul trap, where they give you the reflection of who they are. Because the moment the true God and the Christ sees you, you see yourself like that, you are instantly purified. And so you have to know that this is what's happening. And a lot of people will miss it. And I get it. We've been taught this for thousands of years. But I got to trust my spirit on this. And this is the reason why we have our human technology, our spidey senses, right? Is for times like this, you won't be able to discern with the two eyes. So when they tell you, oh, open the third eye is bad and this and that, well, how are you going to navigate in the darkness? These dark days, when they change everything, when they AI everything, when they invert everything, how do you expect to see and to get guidance if you don't have all of your spiritual technology, your faculties turned on? This is your birthright because this is who you are, right? And someone says that Erika's sun sign is Scorpio. Vicky, shut the front mofo down. What did I say? So not only when I say she's a prince, she's attached to a principality and power of darkness. Not only in the sea where I'm building, but what Vicky just said is that her sun sign is Scorpio. That's what I saw. I saw a massive entity in the sky above the clouds, the radiation. There's a war going on up there. They can't fight it. That's what I'm telling you. You being in Democrat, Republican, baby, is not going to help you because they've jumped ship. America's articles, they did an addendum to the amendment of something in our foundational documents since the 1700s, late 1700s. They already did that. There's other people they put in the pot. It ain't just our forefathers no more. It's global. When I tell you, you have Muslim people that on the board, you have, Indian, you have Arab, you have all of it. They've already left, my dears, my lovelies. They're gone. They've sold us out. They've partnered with the people that they said they were kicking out of the country. Meanwhile, they're partnering with other people, and America has always been sold. For the past 20 years, they've been selling off it for parts and pieces. But now, because of your awakening, because of all of the timeline they told you to be afraid of, well, how come they're the only one running, the only one traversing timelines to bring AI to try to, to black swan us, black mirror, thank you, abundantly empowered, black mirror us into believing that the doomsday timeline has anything to do with us. It doesn't. Does not. If you're where you're supposed to be in your own business, worried about your own ascension, Because I am telling you, I don't care what's going on in the world. If you enter into the quantum realm, aka the collective imagination, if you enter there and you create there and you dwell there and you experience there and you love there and you feel there, then there will be your portion. That's your technology. You have the power to do that. They don't. So they have to lower our field, black swan us, psyop us, create these underground coalitions for these pop-up events that will harness more energy, because remember, she's allowed to garnish energy from humanity, as we outlined in the other reading. That's their stuff. That's what source is saying. Their stuff is a timeline that they told you need to be so afraid of. When in fact, if you live righteous from the heart space, truly loving, just existing in the flow. The only thing you were ever supposed to be was a being, a human being, just being, existing in the flow. We're just here for the experiment. It was, as it outlines in the Cosmic Bible, and guys, you can pick that up on Amazon in the book that I was able to channel with Source, The Great Expansion. You're really just part of Source. They wanted to experience what would happen if we became a separate consciousness. So we fragmented ourselves, but we didn't plan to be here so long. We didn't plan on the reptilians being our overlords and us, have these mirroring and traversing timelines. We didn't plan for all that. We just wanted to play a little game, seeing what would it be like if we fragmented just to have an intimate experience, with ourselves. But we're moving back to collective group consciousness. There's nothing they can do to stop it. And so what that means is you and I are becoming one with Source again. And it doesn't mean that we're going back into just one being, but it means that we are sharing the same code. We're on the same vibration. And you access this through your heart. They can't stop that because it's an ordained time. It's bigger than them. So they create the lesser God. The lesser God has a false, inverted kingdom of heaven. And this is why people keep talking about the reincarnation soul trap. That's why you do that. It's not God sending you back here. It's not. It's the inversion. It's the black mirror. That's what it is. So all they did, and I've said this before, I saw someone made a copy of our 144,000 rhythmic light code frequency. So the 144,000 they talk about in the Bible, these are the chosen, they say it's more like the chosen ones, not that there's only 144,000 people that will literally go to the true kingdom, right? But what it is it's a chosen frequency. It is a blueprint. Those who come down with the remembrance of the frequency, right? And if you, what is it? What's 12 times 12? I think that's 144. I could be wrong, but it's something like that. Yeah, I think so. So really, it's all about the 12-strand DNA, right? Duality, the polarities of that. This is your 144,000. We came down. We incarnated, not reincarnated. We came to be here to awaken the masses because this is our time. And it's not just us that wakes up. Everything wakes up. Everything wakes up. And that's the scary part, because they're telling you the things that are waking up. We got to somehow be on the front lines fighting this stuff. And I know, because I've been there and I've done that. But Source said, wait, hold on. You about to get in the way. I'm about to do a big one, because these things are intelligent. And guess what? Your DNA, that's part of your original DNA, because our dragon DNA is coming back online. Because when you came into physicality here, we didn't come in this form. These bodies, much like I always talk about first gen, second gen, I think that we are at least third gen, these particular bodies. And you know how they show the apes and all that, progressing evolution. No. That part's a lie. You digressed. That part's a lie. There were dragons. I'm not these serpents that they talk about that are evil. No. We had different forms. And they've been working so hard to get what you see here, because those things were too powerful for them to control. So they've been putting ice. I don't know how, I'm telling you, putting things on ice. Remember, Source says she's also an ice queen. That's why even the ice is melting, because everything false of what they did. And these are entities doing this. Human being can't do this. These are entities doing this, these psyops. The ice and all of that. All of this stuff now is just going back to the OG status. And so it's getting interesting. Let's take a look at this.
Count our days as the U.S. has now found an angry, violent creature the size of our entire continent emerging from our waters, and our end times now officially has a date. Many are horrified after a world-ending biblical Leviathan and its head is right by Venezuela, and it is not only rising and will be fully woken up in just days, but what the U.S. has done will end us all. As biblical verse Job 41 warns of, when our ocean starts to boil like a pot, a Leviathan will start to emerge, and the end is imminent. And haunting viral videos show the waters that are named Head of the Dragon, and where the mouth of the Leviathan would be is already fully boiling up. The same biblical verse cites an increase in floods and earthquakes when the creature starts to move. And recent reports are showing a severe increase in flooding and earthquakes all along the west coast, where its body would be, with the most activity in Alaska, where the tail would be. And when a creature with the tail wakes up, that is exactly what moves first. With the US recently announcing they will run Venezuela, but many theorize, is this really for oil, or is it an attempt to keep the beast at bay?
Interesting, guys. Interesting. Very, very interesting.
So what's the update on Levi? Well, have you paid attention to all of the earthquakes going on in Alaska right now? Remember when I told you, once Alaska thaws out, she's going to be able to move. And when she's able to move that tail, all hell is going to break loose. Now, let's talk about it. You all remember when they were evacuating Alaska because of the glaciers that were melting? Well, look, in the last 24 hours, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I told you all, for those of you that know what you're looking at, here's the tail where it comes out. All right? There's number 9. And I told you all, this would be the part that was going to move first. It has to unthaw. And once this unthaws, she'll be able to move that tail from the Bering Sea. All right? And if this tail sweeps this way, at some point, it could send a tidal wave. It'll destroy.
No! Darn it. Ooh, it was about to get good. I wanted to see what part it was going to destroy. But so, it's interesting that the head is located near Venezuela as well. It's just so interesting, right? And what is very interesting is that I had a client session, last week, and the entity that popped up said it was called the Leviathan. And I do not know how I quickly said, no, that's not your name. It's Bathiatus. That just came out. I didn't have to think about it. It was just a strong knowing. And it sounds Leviathan, Bathiatus. Sounds similar, right? Well, shut the front door. How come people are talking about there's actually was 2 Leviathans, but one of them, right, was a male, and that was who I was removing, a male. And I guess this one was, so to speak, already died, or they say that God, killed it or whatever, or, put it down or something. And so there's actually 2. And I find that very interesting that in the client session, when I was removing that entity, it said it was Leviathan. I said, no, your name is Bathiatus. I was like, whoa, how did I know? I was like, I don't know how I knew that, but it was with great certainty, and it did not deny it. So what I'm telling you, if that is the second Leviathan, I think that that's the one that we need to be afraid of. I don't think it's the one that they tell us, because we got to look at everything here has duality. And so I'm telling you, we're going to keep watch at this, but as we split onto the 5D spread into the 8th sphere of consciousness, I got a feeling, guys, we're going to find out that the death and destruction part of the revelations is what God promised that he would do to them. They want to try to include us and black mirror us, but this doesn't have anything to do with us. I feel it very strongly, but it's such a massive template to open that I need more time to sit on that. But this is what I feel in my spirit, because if we're going back to collective consciousness, how can I be destroyed? If you are pure energy from source energy God, how could you ever be destroyed? Energy cannot be destroyed. It just is. And that's why I'm talking about Erika Kirk is a principality of power. And not only the air, because the scorpion in the air, the entity in the air, but see, the ocean is the air because we're underwater. So I'm saying that maybe the second Leviathan, not those that they shown, but I'm thinking that they're showing us that, but what they really need to be showing us is Bathiatus. That's what I don't know why I got that name, and it was very clear to me. This Erika Kirk character, or whatever entity is inside of her, it's also working with a sea serpent, is what I see, and not a good one, because we are underwater. And this psychic investigation has brought us to some really, really interesting places. Very wild things that we discovered, but we're actually underwater. And that's why not only are you mostly made of water, but why do I always talk about your spirit consciousness is water? I always say that we're made of this thing. It's not just spirit. It's a spirit consciousness, which is water. The water in your body is your consciousness. So if you were to drain all the water out in your body, you lose consciousness, right? Because the water is your consciousness. The water in your body is your consciousness. And when you are born, and you're born with water, those are your holy waters, because it came from another realm. So we all have the holy water inside of us. The baptism has always been within. And when you baptize from within through the cleansing and the purification of the 12-strand DNA, bringing back on all of your different avatars, because on the 5D spread, you get access to all your different avatars at the same time. It's like you're playing a video game and you could pick one avatar to fight with. On the 5D spread, we have a multitude of avatars out at the same time, and they won't just be shown up like this, because you're going to have access to all of your DNA. And this is like a more watered down version of who you are. And we've been contained here in this earth suit and reinforced by not only, the pollutions they put out and all of that, but the medical field is actually created to, control the body, to keep you just right above death state, so that you don't actually turn any of your faculties on. And so even the medical, industry was not created in good faith, but it has done some very amazing things. And I do thank God for, doctors and nurses and, CNAs and everyone involved. But the organization, the entities behind it are meant to keep this body sedated. All of it is to keep you away from accessing your codes so that they can try to find it. And that's what this is truly about. The search is not necessarily the Leviathan or, anything else, but it is the search is the God code within you. It's the source code where they can body hop and switch with you. So if they can switch with you, if they can switch codes and DNA and consciousness, hijack consciousness and traffic it, then they can cloak enough that when the true source returns for the great swallow, as it outlines in the Cosmic Bible, then they're hoping that they can switch places and they will go with true source and they can get out of here. And then where do we think they would leave us? In their position, which is the death and destruction, the doomsday timeline, which Erika Kirk is a part of. This is not a human. This is not a human consciousness inside, and this ain't even a human body. Erika Kirk has been removed a long time ago. She never had a chance, really. She really hasn't, because she was born into this thing. She's born in as a tool, as a vessel to, to body hop into, to control. This is what we are experiencing, what we're seeing, So I'm going to read some comments. So Angel says, do you remember I showed you the picture of the dragon that's between Argentina and Antarctica months ago via the email? That is a very obvious and visible, via Google Maps. Okay. Yeah, you know what? Okay, I'm going to look that up. So this is what is happening, guys. Like, these things, it's not even just that. See, the water is cleansing. If you're also water, that your true nature is just, you're just water. That's who you are. Spirit consciousness, you're just water. The soul is the vehicle where the spirit consciousness can be contained. It's a Merkaba. It allows you to go from here to there and everywhere. The movement, right? It's a more efficient way for the waters, the holy waters, to travel. It travels within light. Water travels within light. So what we have going on here is that the water is just awakening. So as you have your awakening, what is it truly? It's your water awakening. It's your spirit consciousness, aka your holy waters. And when it awakens, right, you get access to the temple, right, into the Akashic, right? Getting rid of right brain, left brain, and you have access to all of you. I think a lot of these things are coming. They're not coming up for us, y'all. They're not. They are not. It's kind of, I'm getting the vibe that part of the indoctrination of them going to every country They will even kill and enslave people and do all this stuff to force you into accepting these different religions. I think this is part of it, so that they understand our human technology of how things get passed down through epigenetics on a DNA level. And so it's been a slow bake to prime our DNA to hold the vibration of you're not good enough. God's going to smite you. God's going to destroy everything at the end, like you're nothing, like you're just trash to God. It's time to use common sense. They got us to accept it through the ages, through the DNA. But what it always was they only had a specified time before they would be found out. They had a specified time to finish the job. That's why everything is revving up. That's why everything is speeding up. That's why they had to traverse the timeline to get AI to help them cloak, because we're waking up. We're going to see them with our third eye. We can see them now. And that's why we can see that tail. It may not even be the cameras. It may just be our attunement. Because how many times has this happened back in the 60s and no one caught it? It's just that we are attuned now to the higher vibration. Vicky says, one of my daughters was born in her waters. She's never lost touch with the other side. I feel that this is why they now push and break the waters before the baby is born, to disconnect the baby. Yes, and I'm not, modern medicine is great, especially if you have an accident and you need help, you need to be patched up, you need blood, all of that. But these things were all created to trap you, and it reinforces this body to keep it just right above sick, just right above dead, really. So the consensus is, yes, that's just a confirmation of reptilian, but also it's deeper than that. She's part of the doomsday timeline, part of a water serpent, and also part of the scorpion in the sky, because we're underwater, because your waters are waking up. The water in general is waking up, and therefore you are waking up. And when you wake up, you get access to the temple. You have your holy baptism, which is internal. And then when you literally not only wake up, but you start to share the messages and walk in that way, on that path, this is the consecration. And then this is how you get access back to your, the 12-strand DNA, which is just your full holy temple. Your holy temple is on a multidimensional spread. And we're gaining access back to some of our original avatars. Wow, someone says my kid was born in water too, and I'm a water sign. Angel, I'm going to look that up. Pictures of the dragon between Argentina and Antarctica. I don't know if I can find it right now. I don't know why it's not showing me. Oh, yeah. Okay, I think I found it. Oh, yeah, here it is. I'll show it to you. Like the video and subscribe, guys, please. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so this here, I think I see it. You see that down there? This looks like there's Argentina and Antarctica's over there. And yeah, I see it right here. I'm telling you guys, it ain't coming for us. I'm telling you. It's not, because you're part of source. It's not common for us. But they want to trick us, put it in every book and make you afraid of it, reinforce it, use scare tactics. That's the Black Mirror effect. It's coming for them. All of this is coming for them. I see it right there. I see it. You guys see that? Let me see. Let me actually. Yeah, you guys can look it up. There's even more pictures. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Now you can really see it. Hold on. You can't see it when I make it big, but you can see it when it's, let me show you again. If I just do it this way. Yes. Okay, now look at the one on the far right. Now you can truly see it. The pic on the far right here, when it's smaller. It even looks like an eye there, like the mouth. They are, and I'm telling you, they are scrambling. They're so confused. They think they can go underground. The whole earth is underwater. You can't run from this. You have to attune to the source frequency. That is your savior. They won't be able to get out of this because they come here to match energy. They have come to match energy. They have come to match energy. That's very clear. So really quickly, guys, last thing I want to show you is just a confirmation of like what we said, like, you know, this was probably around a week ago. Let's take a look at this. Let us take a look at this. Investigation. I just was doing a simple automatic drawing, but then this thing took a life on its own, right? So remember, this was the original Charlie picture that kicked this stuff off, guys. Charlie, this is his head. He's down in a fetal position. X marks the spot on his neck. I always got back in the neck, and I got a confirmation through a dream, actually, that my sister had. And it was, in fact, you know, actually in that the witch, which now I presume is Erika, you know, was going to stab him in the neck with like a long pinky, and it could have been the front, but I always felt the energy in the back. But nevertheless, look, his back humped over, sitting on his bum. The X shows up always because this is the sacrifice, the perversion of the cross. When you pervert the cross, this is how you're in the Moloch timeline. And in all these other timelines, this is how they do it. Once they pervert it, that you can switch to another timeline. He's sitting on his legs. Look, bondage. I wrote bondage there. He's sitting on his legs, some energy coming out there. This is how he always showed up from day one since September 10th. Or the next day, September 11th or 12th. Now, look at this. This is Erika Kirk. I did this one 2 days ago on the 4th of January. This is a reptilian. This is the neck down, all the way down. This is some scales on the back, and it's a tail. You can't mistake this. This is a tail. And look, the legs, so these would be the back legs. They're kind of like this. She's sitting on them, and those are the legs there. And then the front legs are tucked over. Total fetal position, right? But this, from my work dealing with the removal of reptilians, this thing is cloaking. I was like, oh, look how cute her inner child. Because I was reading the picture, and possibly maybe her inner child looked like this because maybe she's always had this as part of her artillery, right? But Source said, look at this again and remember how she was always one with this thing. So this is her. So we knew it was her, and it felt like it was the inner child cloaking, but no, this is also present day her, right?
All right.
So this, okay. So, just to sum it up for you guys, I mean, I literally, that's what I said. And it's funny how I stumbled upon that video today and, someone caught it. So as far, kind of cuckoo, as the psychic investigation has been and still is, the reality is that now Source is showing us that, this stuff is just not as far-fetched. It really isn't, because we are dealing with timelines and we are dealing with pantheons. We're not dealing the life you're living. No, that's just a prison and entrapment. We just keep repeating the same, the Romans, the Greeks, the Egyptian time and all of that, Mesopotamia. These are the original gods that they have given, like the Moloch, right? And Marduk, god of Babylon. This is who they're still worshiping. This is how they're getting their power to control all of us. But remember, we did a video on New Year's Eve, I think. That timeline's falling down. Us as a collective has agreed that the Moloch, the time where children were and people were taken and sacrificed, is ending. So we're literally, as we wake up, we are literally correcting our code. We're correcting some of these things that we partook in the past because we weren't conscious, right? When we were doing it, but now that we're collectively saying, nope, we're not going to do that anymore. That's not right. Nope, we're not going to do this anymore. That's not right. These are the places they were hiding. They were hiding within the denseness of those energy fields. But when we wake up and then we collapse see the polarities, then collapse it, understanding both sides, collapse it, and then we go through the eye of the needle, transcending the duality focal point. Every single time we do that on every single situation, they have to run and hide and scatter. And on this channel, we have been making the elites run, hide, and scatter, and we will continue to make them run, hide, and scatter, because it's principalities and powers of darkness and their false timeline. Yeah, I'm uprooting that one. Source told me a long time ago, I never understood this. So I grew up in the church. But I knew something was wrong from a very early age. I had a keen sense of discernment, even at the age of 5. I knew something was wrong with this. I knew it. But part of my job as Mother of the Ages is to uproot the church as well. Not just the church, not really the church. The church can stay. It's the institution of religion, actually. I didn't understand that calling. And why? I didn't understand it because I didn't know it was ran by reptilians. I thought, like, why would I want to do that? But I get it. It's not ran by humans. It's not, they're hiding God from you. They're siphoning God from you. They're really just siphoning your God consciousness, your spirit consciousness. And they're black swan and black mirroring us. Nothing will be hidden again. Nothing. Once your inner eye is opened, nothing will be hidden. If you don't turn your faculties on, these eyes are going away, the natural eyes, because that's why they got the technology. Because you're waking up. It was like, oh, we got to get this technology. We've got to traverse the timeline because we're going to see them. And we're going to know they're just the reptilian overlords. That is the whole point of why all of this is happening. Everything is everything. None of this stuff is separate you see on the world stage. Nothing is separate. And in fact, these people have ran. They've America ain't America. And Great Britain ain't Great Britain. They're fighting a larger war, guys. That's why they all have that peace treaty in Antarctica. They've been fighting this larger war for a very long time. And the larger war has also something to do with you waking up. Because in truth, who do you think woke up the Leviathan? You've been on this channel. You might know. Who do you think wakes up all of these things? Because now I realize they are not coming for us. See, once you get into your rightful status, that's why they had you on the maritime law, right? As we, outlined a few videos back. Once you're in your rightful status and you know who you are, then they're not coming for you because they switch places with us. So when we interface with these dark spirits, right? And we have to remove these spirits and Leviathan and all of that. It's because you have been tricked that you are them, but they are wearing your essence. You got to switch yourself back. Take yourself back by doing the healing work. There's no way out but in. You have to go inside to truly, truly change the vibration from within, to have the internal baptism and consecration. That's the only way out is to ascend through the heart, to expand out. And I think that the ones of us, the true 144,000, the ones who carry that frequency, I think we are waking up all these things because we know that they're not coming for us. But the general public of humanity thinks that they are. And that's why we got to continue to wake up the general, population of humanity. Once we switch back, and we allow them to hold their own energy, and we tear down their mirrors, and we allow them to be seen, you open up your, spiritual technology, and then now you allow them to be seen for who they are. No more cloaks. Trust me, that if something's coming up from the ocean with ill intentions, if you're standing in your right status, that thing will go right over your head and attack the person who has been harming humanity's evolution, consciousness, and earth since the beginning of time. I'm telling you. And you know that what I'm saying is right. Because this is what we have to do in these final, I say final days, but it's their final days. Truth has a vibration. You don't have to study this. I don't have to look in a book. I don't have to Google. I don't have to chat GPT, nothing. Truth has a vibration. That was the vibration of truth because I felt it. See, their vibration of lies come with fear. And that's why everyone is fearing, oh, the end of the day is the end of the time, and watch the time. And that's them, because you're still thinking you are them. They switch with you. Switch, you ever heard of being switched at birth? They switched with you. Take yourself back. Switch back. Since I switched back, you have nothing to worry about. I worry about none of this stuff. I bring it to you guys, but there isn't anything. I don't care if there's whatever fighting outside the skies. I will go out there and stand, because what does it say? 10,000 may fall, and 1,000 may fall at this side and 10,000 at your right hand, but it won't come for you. But you have to, it's time to embody that. See, the Bible is one thing. It's a history book, really, for the true Israelites, that are still scattered. They haven't returned to Israel yet. And by the way, Israel is located in America. And Charlie Kirk actually got the PSYOP happened in Israel. Because if you look up Utah, actually, there's a lot of places and monuments there, locations in Utah that align with the Israel. I'm just saying, even they've turned the world upside down. Literally, my dad has always said that. My dad has his map of the world turned upside down. They've literally turned it upside down. So where you think you are not. Take a map and turn it back the other way, because everything they do is inverted. They inverted you, tricking you. They inverted the Bible, tricking you that, God's going to smite. No, God's coming for them. What's coming up from the ocean ain't coming for you. You are the one who awoke it up. When you awoken, the dragon awoken. We are the ones running this. They want to think that we're small, and they put us in these small bodies after they've messed up our DNA, try to insert their reptilian code and brain. But the ones of us who remember are the ones waking up this stuff, because we know that when you're standing in your right status, when you've taken yourself back, then nothing can harm you, because we live in the imagination. We live in thought waves. Let that sink in. Just saying. Yeah, it's a destiny swap. No destiny swap. Exactly. They just been doing this. And guys, mind you, a lot of this, I'm a conscious channeler, so I'm channeling this stuff. But everything's been checking out right. And Angel just put in the chat, Utah, Judah. Yeah, Utah is Judah. And look, it has actually TAH, my name. Utah. Me, Tahira. And I'm part of the tribe of Judah. So, very interesting. Yeah, because the T and the D, that's the same thing. And the J is silent. And in some, cultures, languages, the J is silent. This says Utah. Judah is Utah. That's what that was done in true. And they're also trying to tell you that Judah is, they don't want Judah speaking. That's a psyop. Judah is, okay. Oh, you got, Angel, don't make me be here all night now. Don't make me be here all night. Remember when I told you guys, I'm going to save this source. I'm going to say this last thing. Remember when I told you guys that I channeled that they were prisoners of war when Lyra fell down? I need all of my people who have had lifetimes in Lyra. I've had a lot of people come through and their past life regression. They've had lifetimes in Lyra, and two, yes, two of my sisters were in my class that had lifetimes in Lyra. And I think they're, yeah, you guys we need to talk about this on Saturday, because we're doing our January fast and quantum healing. So yeah, we need to talk about this because I think that we're onto something here. So I'm going to leave you with this. So Source said the reptilians we have are prisoners of war from the Lyran star system. Yeshua Jesus, his consciousness came through the Lyrian or Lyran star system. That's how certain souls come through into, physicality, outside of light bodies. And so now when they came, right, who do they want to switch with? Judah. Because why? Because Judah is who captured them. Because Yeshua was also on Lyra, and he's responsible for their entrapment, their imprisonment. And so they want to swap pretty much with him. That's what I've always said. They just want to be God. That's just the whole thing that they want. And so that's why you see Judah heavily, Judah, the what we call Black Americans, or the tribe of Judah. There's different tribes. Caribbeans have, I'm not sure if they're Benji or but you can look. There's a whole chart of the true tribes of Israel. They're scattered all over the world. You can look it up. But I happen to know that Black Americans are the Judah. And then that's why you get slavery. That's why you get, it's really weird. And how, remember I showed you guys that in Trump's automatic drawing and also in Erika Kirk, they had some slave. It looks like to be a slave or slavery. That's the energy they're siphoning to make themselves larger than life. So that it's just a destiny swap, and it's a suppression of people so that they can cloak as that, in that light. What they really want to cloak is in that particular light. So there's some people that are, from different star systems, like the Palladian, and there's people here. You guys hold very important codes from, the people of yesteryear. So if they can suppress that, then you have no remembrance of who you used to be. Then they can destiny swap. But the cloaks are coming off because we are awakening. So I just think that's interesting, but I'm going to leave that there. All right, guys. Boy, your girl has been working overtime. I'm so happy and thankful for all of you guys, that you guys would tune in to, to view me and to see my insights and what I have to say. And I'm just very excited to be here with you all. And it's always an honor when we can share this space together. And yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm just scanning through those comments. I've got all night. You've got all night. Y'all want to get me talking. You have learned recently that the real name for the mother of Yeshua was Judah. Really? Gail, are you serious? Wow. That is, see, we got a lot of talking to do. Like I'm working on getting that Patreon up. I'm sorry, I've been busy, but I'm telling you, I'm going to do it this week. I promise you. Because there's just so much, like, we could be in these forever, but, we also need a place to talk outside of this, like all together, because we got a lot of codes that we all need to share. We got a lot of codes. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Just share love. You guys have shared so much love in the chat today. But yeah, this has been very, very, very beautiful indeed. I love you guys, the birds, the bees, and yes, all of the beautiful trees, they love you. Love is the way, forgiveness is the key, and truth is the light that will always, always guide us home. Be well, guys. Be well. Bye.